Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and on this corner of the internet we talk about books, fiber arts, and a little bit of lifestyle. Today we are doing another book tag because Jack in the Books keeps saying bring back the book tag, so I went back to ZZ's with books and just looked up another book tag, and this one's really interesting. It's called the Anti-TBR book tag, and it just is a list of questions based around books that you do not want to read. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'd love to have you in our little community, and let's get started. Alright, so question number one is a popular book that you have no interest in reading. And for that one, I'm gonna say Haunting and Hunting Adeline. I know it's like the cat and mouse one. I know some people love it, some people hate it. I just don't know if that's something that I can do. I have heard people say like the trigger warnings and stuff and some of the more problematic things that happen in those books, and I was just like, you know what? I just don't think I can do it. I know that they're on Kindle Unlimited, so like they are actively accessible for me if I ever do change my mind. And that's one thing too. All of these are subject to change, but right here in this moment in time in the year of our Lord 2024, this is how I feel. Number two, a classic book that I have no interest in reading. I'm gonna do Les Miserables. I feel like this is kind of a controversial choice, but it's interesting because so many people are obsessed with musicals but won't like read what they're based off of, I guess is the way I'm trying to say that. Like, it is the source material for the musical, and I've never seen the musical, I've never seen the movie, and I have no interest in reading the book. I think it's about the French Revolution. Maybe I'd be really interested in it, but I also don't read a ton of classics in my spare time. I'd say I read a lot of like new American classics. Like I just read The Virgin Suicides. That one's kind of like inching towards that. I'm trying to think of other ones that I've read, but none are coming to mind right now. But like I have interest in reading them. Like I want to read American Psycho. I want to read Brave New World. You know, those types of things. But yeah, Les Miserables, don't think it's for me, but I'll never know because I won't read it. All right, number three, an author I have no interest in reading. For this one, I chose Tahira Mafi. She's the author of the Shatter Me series, and I checked out the audiobook one time to like listen to this book, and oh my gosh, I couldn't even get through the first 30 minutes. I found it to be like so dull. I know a lot of people really like them. I'm also not the intended audience of these books anymore. I think they came out when I was more of a teenager, but I'm not the intended audience for this anymore, so like I really shouldn't poo-poo on a YA series, but like I just know not for me. An author you've read a couple of books from and they just aren't for you. This one is V.E. Schwab. From her, I have read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I found Addie LaRue to be not completely insufferable, but I did say this in the first time I talked about it, but like, how do you live for 300 years and you only live in like 3 different places? I don't know, it's not even like shown that she can like do a lot. Like, I guess if I were immortal, I'd be like collecting languages and like learning things. I'd always be in a pursuit of knowledge, because the whole point is that like she can't have physical things, but you always have your brain and you can always be smarter, wiser, all this stuff, and she still just very much operates like a young 20-something girl. And hey, I was a young 20-something girl. I get it. But you are over 300 years old. It's kind of giving like Edward still has the maturity of a 17-year-old, even though he's 117. I'm just saying. But yeah, I just don't think V.E. Schwab's writing is for me. Clearly, they are like very beloved. And so, like, I'm not trying to, they're not bad, they're just not for me, and that is, like, in the truest form that I can say that it is. I don't think it's bad, it's just not for me. A genre you have no interest in reading. So for this one I put down mystery, and I think it's really hard because a tried and true mystery novel is kind of hard to come by. A lot of thrillers also have mystery elements. I just finished Throne of Glass. That had a very heavy mystery element to it. I really like the Harry Potter series. There are mystery elements to that, but I think when I think of like a true mystery, I'm thinking like Agatha Christie, Sherlock Holmes, like things that I can't just sit down and be like, who done it? They're just not for me. I also put down crime, which I'm not sure is completely accurate, but I'm not like a true crime girly. you'll never catch me reading, or not reading, you'll never catch me listening to My Favorite Murder, because that's just like not me. I have a strong stomach, but I can get pretty squeamish and like very uncomfortable very quickly talking about those sorts of topics. I did read Mindhunter last fall, so it's like an exception to what I'm saying here. And then there is another book that's like Mindhunter, and it's from like the Forensic Files of a Mortician or something along those lines. I also have a book on my bookshelf called Female Serial Killers. So it's like intriguing in the way of like, first off, most serial killers are men, so a woman serial killer, I want to know what she's doing, because that's interesting to me. It takes a lot, I guess I should say, for a book like that to really pique my interest, which is why it's not a genre that I really am like drawn towards. A book you have or used to have that you have no interest in reading. This one, I guess, is kind of a cop-out because I did unhaul it like a long time ago, but It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. When I was starting to watch more booktube videos, people were kind of like talking about Colleen Hoover, and it's interesting the way in which you can fall out of the internet's favor so quickly. I did buy It Ends With Us, I think when I moved to Sioux Falls and I started curating a book collection more, when I actually had like money to buy brand new books again. It's interesting because I don't even think at the time I had an interest in reading it, but I was like, oh, everyone else is reading this. It's like the pop culture thing to do. I should read this. And I never read it, and the more in which I saw that Colleen Hoover was kind of out of favor with public opinion, and the more in which I learned about what is between the pages of those books, I just was kind of like, I don't think this author is for me, nor do I think she ever was for me. Like, even if I did read one of her books, I don't think I would have liked it, and then I just would have been in the public discourse of people poo-pooing on someone who used to be popular. And I don't think we need any more people like that. And so, like, It Ends With Us slash kind of Colleen Hoover in general, I just, like, have no interest in reading those books. A series that you have no interest in reading, or a DNF series. So I put down Lord of the Rings for this one because I did used to have the first book. I can't even remember. I think that one is called The Lord of the Rings. Maybe, I don't know. I've watched the movies. They're fun, they're good, they're objectively good. It is like a hero's journey and like adventure, an action-packed adventure, and there's like everything you could ever want in a Lord of the Rings movie. I have never heard anyone say they liked the books. Everyone I've ever talked to is like, those books are so boring, don't bother, the movies are good, they're a good enough adaptation. And I am very much someone who's like, if the movie has a good enough adaptation, if you don't want to read the books, you can skip it. That's kind of how I feel about the Harry Potter series. Don't come for me if you have a different opinion. That is just the way I feel. People in my life have not read the Harry Potter books, but they still like the movies, and who am I to tell them that they aren't a fan? You know what I mean? Like, I am not the judge on that sort of stuff. But anyway, back to Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to think if I have another series. These Violent Delights duology by Chloe Gong is slowly becoming a DNF series for me. I tried listening to Our Violent Ends, and I probably got around 20 to 30% into it. And I read These Violent Delights so long ago that I can't really remember what was going on. And normally I'm really good about remembering what happens in books, so the fact that I did forget and the fact that I don't really care about finishing this, but I really wanted to read Foul Lady Fortune, so that's like kind of the hard part. Apparently you don't have to, so maybe I won't and I'll just jump in, but Our Violent Ends, I really do feel like These Violent Delights had a nice ending. I don't think that it needed to be a duology, or like it could have been a standalone, is what I'm saying. That's just my opinion. Alright, last question. A new release that you have no interest in reading, and obviously, like, have no interest in reading is kind of like, you can tack that on to every single one of these questions. I went on Goodreads to like search up different new releases because I honestly don't track new releases very much, and I don't want to say like I don't read popular books, I know that I do, but I would say like I'm always kind of a day late on it. The last book I would say that I really like got into while the hype was going on was Fourth Wing. I was able to like check it out right away from my library. I listened to it on audiobook but like I know that I am so far behind on like Throne of Glass, and I read A Court of Thorns and Roses really far behind. I haven't even started Crescent City. You know, those sorts of series and stuff. I haven't read A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes yet. I'm going to someday, but I haven't yet. I don't know what it is about me. I just am such a mood reader, and so I also feel like I'm behind with like Chestnut Springs. Everyone's read them but me. That's just the way I am. I don't know. But so, sorry. Back to the question at hand. A new release. I found The Teacher by Frida McFadden, and I don't have anything else to say other than like I don't know what this book is about. And I've heard other people say that Frida McFadden's work is like amazing, but I just don't think that those books are for me from what I've heard about like the stories that people tell about them. Overwhelmingly very good, like lots of praise, all this stuff. Like I have no interest in reading those books, but my best friend slash roommate, she's got quite a few Frida McFadden books that she wants to read because that's the genre that like interests her. So that's just like me. Like I said, all these are subject to change. Maybe I will do a video of me reading books that were on my anti-TBR. Let me know if you want to see that down in the comments. That would be interesting. But yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. This was really fun. Comment down below a book or a book series that you have like no interest in reading, and maybe a little bit about why. I would love to hear. We can just have a collective discourse of our anti-TBRs in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!